Okay, spotlight myself. All right. So, welcome everybody. So, we're just going to come to a comfy seated position, whatever that means to you. Maybe having a pillow underneath your hips would help. If you always have the same leg in front, switching to bring the other one in front. So let's just start with some really small circling. And as you circle, the focus is trying to get your spine longer. We don't want to be slumped in our pelvis, trying to feel like you're growing upward, trying to create some space in between your vertebrae. Feeling those shoulders and arms just relaxing. And switching directions, going around the other way. Just noticing where there's tension. I'm feeling some unhappiness up the right side of my back. So just see what's going on, seeing if you can soften it. Being patient with yourself later on if different parts don't quite want to do things. Wonderful. Now coming into stillness, let's just do a few inhale our shoulders up. Exhale, let them go. Two more of those. Good. So let's maybe look down at the floor. Really on the inhale, feeling the spine growing upwards. Lungs expanding on the exhale, feeling the shoulders relax, the hips kind of nice and rooted. Feeling really nice and strong on your inhale and nice and settled on your exhale. Adding on to your exhale, the feeling of your core muscles pulling in gently. Maybe feeling also your pelvic floor rising up on the exhale. Really sort of noticing where all your stomach muscles are and just sort of getting them to contract each exhale. And then on the inhale, letting them relax. You can take a nice full breath. Let's add on some arm movements. So just gently on the exhale, feel your hands kind of like you're pressing something together, invisible. And inhale, let things expand. Exhale, kind of feel like you're squeezing your underarms together. Waking up your chest muscles, your arms, squeezing some invisible ball. Good. Wonderful. Coming on to our hands and knees, maybe doing a few wrist circles before we put any weight on our wrists, just shaking out our wrists, getting them ready. Coming on to our hands and knees, starting off with some good old cow and cat. So we're just letting the core be relaxed for a little while, inhaling to arch, exhaling, feeling the stomach pulling in to round your back. Nice long breath, really feeling the quality of your breath and your movements, long, kind of slow. Careful, changing the pattern so your hip goes one way, looking over the other shoulder. Inhale through center, exhale, doing that on the other side. So just feeling your whole side body getting a nice stretch. Well, we're going to do kind of a weird sensation. I want you to feel like your trunk is in kind of a barrel and you're trying to press every part of the barrel. So it's like you're pressing your whole trunk to the side and then pressing it up and to the other side, and then feeling like the bottom of you is trying to go along the bottom of this barrel. So we're just trying to make a big circle with our trunk, kind of, or if you want to imagine a peanut butter jar and you're trying to, your body's the spoon and you're trying to scrape the inside of the peanut butter jar. And if this makes no sense, just do something that feels different than what you would normally do. And switching directions the other way. Wonderful. So now we're going to do a movement just with our pelvis. So we're going to do that sort of feeling, but just our pelvis. So feel like you're taking your hips and around in a circle, tucking your tail, pressing your hip one way, sticking out your tuchus one the other way. So we're just trying to loosen up the lower back. Kind of like a hula hoop feeling perhaps. Then switching directions the other way. Good. Wonderful. So now we're going to come back to our cow and cat, please. Just a few of our normal cow and cat. Now we're going to change our cow and cat. So on the exhale, as you round your back, you're pressing backward into sort of a almost child's pose, getting that nice stretch in your back, then inhale coming up. That's normal arching. So just sort of flowing with your breath. Staying back in kind of a child's pose for a moment. Let's just give our wrists a little bit of a shake. So we've been on them for a while, maybe playing pianos, maybe wrist circles, whatever you need. Good. And then let's slowly come back up onto our hands and knees, rounding our feet. So now we're just going to wake up our feet, pressing our toes into the floor one at a time, just getting the bottoms of our feet to wake up. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, let's slowly make our way into downward dog, stretching out one leg and then the other, bicycling them out. Really feeling those hamstrings, the back of the knees, getting stretched out. Good. Let's bend both knees. Take a nice big inhale, sort of pressing your hips back and in that long stretch. Exhale, straightening out the backs of your legs, feeling those heels reaching down towards the floor, getting a really nice long stretch. Good. Wonderful. Slowly, let's come back onto our hands and knees. Wonderful. So shaking out your wrists a moment. And we're going to get into the core. So what we're going to feel is just from our hands and knees, we're going to feel like we're pressing our hands into the floor. It's almost like you're trying to press the center of your upper back into the ceiling. Good. So it's subtle, not a lot looks like it's going on. Now we're going to add on the exhale, bringing in our stomach muscles. So we're not really moving much, but we're feeling our hands really pressing into the mat, our back body getting strong, and on the exhale, feeling the stomach muscles pulling in. Good. Now we're going to round our toes. So our toes are on the mat, and if it feels good to you, on the exhale, we're going to lift our knees up off the mat. Holding here on the exhale, feel your stomach muscles really engaging. A lot for the arms and chest. Good. On your next exhale, let's go back into downward dog, having a little break. Nice deep breath. Good. Wonderful. Coming down onto our hands and knees, shaking out our wrists if need be. When you're ready, we're gonna get onto our hands and knees, our core nice and strong, extending out one leg behind us, maybe pointing your toes just for fun. And we're just gonna hold this. And again, on each exhale, I want you to really feel your stomach muscles powerfully pulling in, pressing your hands into the mat, so your chest is feeling alive. And this is very mental. So the more you can make your brain talk to your stomach muscles, the more you'll get out of it. Let's try some little circling with the legs. So circle, just a small circle in one direction. Switching directions the other way. It's a hard brain thing. Good. Wonderful. Now flexing that foot, putting it down on the mat, and just taking a moment, maybe coming down onto your forearms if you like, just stretching out the back of your leg, giving your wrists and hands a little bit of a break. Good, wonderful. Let's come back up onto our hands and knees. Do all that on the other side. So stretching out your other leg, pointing your toe, and getting that feeling of pressing your hands into the mat, feeling on each exhale a really strong core pulling in. Trying those little circles of the legs. So the trick here is we're trying to keep the trunk of our body relatively still as we're doing these little circles with our legs. Oh, there's more snow now out the window. Switching directions with your circle. Good, wonderful. Flexing that foot, putting it down on the mat, maybe coming down on your elbows, just stretching out the back of your hamstrings. Good, wonderful. We're gonna come back onto our hands and knees. We're gonna do one more hard thing on the mat. So your choice, we're gonna do a plank, either on your hands or on your elbows, or if that's just not for you today, do a nice child's pose. So choose your own adventure, whatever your body needs today. So wherever you are, plank or child's pose, let's just focus on our breath. Feeling the core. Ooh, this is hard. Engage on the exhale. Wonderful, just a bit more. Good, and then lowering down, coming onto your belly. Hooray, let's stretch our arms forward. Maybe rolling side to side a little bit if that feels good. You know, the one where you're kind of massaging your belly as you kind of roll side to side. Having a little break. Good. Now keeping those arms overhead, we're going to do that kind of swimmer thing. Whereas you inhale, bring, so your right hand and your left leg, rising them off the mat slightly. Exhale, lowering down. So we're feeling our back body engaging and feeling that kind of diagonal sensation across the back. Being careful of your neck, sort of looking down kind of between your forearms is probably a good angle for your neck. Going slow, trying to really feel it. Good, wonderful. Bringing our hands alongside our bodies, palms facing down. And then when you're ready, keeping your feet on the floor, let's inhale, lifting our chest off the mat, feeling those arms sort of tucking in along your sides so you feel your back body really engaged. Let's just hold this for a moment or two. With the plank, we felt the front body really warm up, heat up. Now we're trying to feel the back body really get engaged. Good, wonderful. And then slowly lowering on down. Ooh, let's come up onto our hands and knees and just for a moment or two, do the one where you're dropping one elbow, looking one way. Inhale through center, dropping the other elbow, looking the other way. So just trying to get a little twisty in the spine. Or do whatever movement your body wants you to do. If it wants cow and cat more, do that. All right. Speaking of cow and cat, let's just throw in one or two. Thanking our body for doing all that. And when you're ready, let's make our way into downward dog. Breathing deep. Wonderful. Walking your feet up towards your hands. Let everything just flop forward, giving your arms a shake, your head a shake. Trying to get a nice stretch up the back of your legs, and then it's like the whole top of your body is just like a rag doll. Then slowly rolling up your spine, feeling your belly button kind of pulling in, so you're stacking your vertebrae. Good. When you come to standing, just do whatever movement occurs to you, whatever your body wants. I feel like just letting my hips go side to side. Maybe you feel like some circling. If you're circling, do some switching direction. Wonderful. So let's get fiery in our legs, but first actually let's balance. So just stepping side to side, feeling like your feet are pressing off the floor. So you resist the floor and then kind of press off the floor. So our feet are getting nice and awake. It's almost like your toes are trying to pop you up off the floor. Oh. And then your heels resisting going down. Wonderful. So now our feet are awake. So let's come into some chairs. So exhale to have a seat, feeling the core pulling in. Inhale, coming up tall. Really getting into your breath. On the inhale, try to feel your quads really kind of come alive. Like when you get to the top of it, bring your weight forward so it's like your heels can almost pop up, and that'll really ignite your quads. So engaging your core as you come down, inhale, coming up, and coming forward enough that you feel your quads really alive. Keep going. Your own breath. Really sending your hips backwards so your knees are more above your ankles than your toes. The next time you're nice and deep, staying there, bringing your hands to heart center. So we're just going to hold this, feeling your spine really long. On each exhale, really feel your stomach muscles pulling in. Maybe feeling your hands pressing together. Really heating up. Good, and then slowly coming back up. Oh, I feel like I need to just let my hips go forward and back, sort of stretching out my hip flexors a bit. Breathing deep, doing whatever feels like a relief. Good, wonderful. So now we're going to do a balance. Bring all your weight onto one side. Let's do our classic tree. Maybe your foot's on your calf. Maybe it likes being above the knee, on your thigh, whatever you like. If you're above the knee, feel the supporting leg, thighs are pressing into your foot. Ooh, and then let's inhale our arms up. Let's mess around with opening up our chest. So maybe on the inhale, Feel a big opening across the chest, pulling your elbows back. And then on the exhale, bringing your elbows towards one another, getting a stretch in your back body. Good. Now, some people will feel comfortable bringing their elbows right together. My shoulders say no, thank you. So just see what your body's up for. So we're balancing strong core and we're getting this big chest and back stretch. Okay. Great, good. So putting that foot down, we're going to inhale our arms up, grabbing the wrist, and just pulling that arm over to the side, letting the hips go, really trying to stretch out the underarm. Good, inhale back up, grab the other wrist, so your palms facing up towards the ceiling, just really focus on that underarm getting stretched out. And all down the side body. Good, hooray! Letting the arms just relax, shaking out the legs. Let's do all that on the other side if you can remember. So shifting your weight, finding a place to put your foot, trying to feel the supporting leg pressing into the foot. Wonderful. Let's bring up our arms. This time, what I'd like us to try is inhale, reaching up with the palms facing forward. Exhale, squeezing the elbows in. So you feel the back body, whoa, really alive. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, squeezing in. So the core is really engaged. You're staring at something eye level that's not going to move. Nice. I can see people are going for it. That's awesome. Wonderful. Let everything come on down. Great. Let's inhale, reaching those arms up. Do another nice side bend. Whenever you feel like it, switching sides. Good. Wonderful. And then let's do just some twists. I think we're going to do a triangle next. So we rarely do triangles because I don't like them. So that's all the more reason to do them. So let's find our footing on the mat. Let's come into sort of a warrior two type feeling with our feet. Bringing our arms up. So it's like, so there's our warrior two. It's like warrior two, but you straighten your front leg, okay? So I gotta psych myself up. So let's start by on the exhale, engaging the core. On the inhale, making the spine nice and long. Good. So let's have our palms facing forward. We've got a nice line from hand to hand. Now I want you to feel like someone's got you by the head and it's like pulling your spine upwards. Good. Now that front arm, I want you to sort of reach with it. Okay? And then you're going to start tipping. So that front hand is coming down towards your knee, the back arm is going up towards the ceiling, maybe looking up or looking down or just wherever your neck is happy, but feeling the core really, really strong. You're making this triangle shape. Good, so it's this whole swath of your core that's really nice and engaged. Good, on the next inhale, slowly coming back up. Yay, wonderful. So letting those arms relax, bringing our feet together. Let's just let our hips go back and forth or side to side, whatever your body wants as a relief. And then let's do all that on the other side. So just to remind yourselves, get in that warrior 2 foot position and then straightening your front leg, getting your core engaged, feeling your spine long. Palms facing forward, reaching with that front arm. So you're your whole body's from the waist up is reaching, and that strong core start to tip forward. So we've got one arm reaching up towards the ceiling, one hand reaching down, letting your head go where it feels natural. Breathing deep. Next inhale, slowly coming on up, bringing your feet back towards one another, shaking out those arms. All right, since we're here, let's turn out our feet and we're just going to do some goddess stuff to really fire up our legs again. So palms facing forward, our knees are in line with our toes. Let's come into this deep bending of the knees, pulling in the elbows. Inhale, reaching up. So exhale, strong core. We're really feeling our inner thighs going. Wonderful. So going at your own pace. If your body says no thank you, just do something that it wants you to do. Just a few more of these. Breathing deep. Good. Wonderful. Hooray. So maybe just going side to side a little bit, stretching out your inner thighs. All right. Bring your feet together, shaking everything out, and let's come down to the floor, please. So coming onto our backs. First things first, hugging in your knees. And just rolling side to side. Letting your back body just have a little bit of a break. That's wonderful. Then crossing over one leg, grabbing the other leg. Do a big hip opener, getting that outside of the leg stretched out. Breathing deep. We're in full stretch mode now. So putting that foot back down on the floor, hands alongside your body. Just do some windshield wipers for a moment or two. Trying to feel the front of the thighs and the hip flexors getting a little bit of a stretch. Wonderful. Then crossing over the other leg, grabbing the underneath leg, pull everything in. Breathing deep. Wonderful. Both knees on the floor, palms open to either side, and just windshield wipers again. Maybe really feeling the back hip come off the floor so you can feel a big stretch through the front of your quad. Good, wonderful. Let's do a few of hugging in your knees. And then inhale, stretching out, letting your back arch, pointing your toes. And then exhale, hugging in your knees, maybe lifting your head if that feels okay. Inhale, lengthening everything out. So those two very different feelings. Good. And then when you get around to it, after hugging in your knees, let's come into happy baby. So your version of happy baby, maybe your knees are coming apart and you hang out here. Maybe it's like your feet are trying to stand on the ceiling, maybe grabbing the outside of your legs, or maybe you can grab the outside of your feet. Just breathing deep, just kind of letting it happen. Wonderful. Putting your feet on the floor, hands alongside your hips. Let's come in to your bridge. So your feet are pressing into the floor. You're feeling your strong glutes and thighs pressing your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Feeling really alive in your legs. Breathing deep. Then slowly rolling back down your spine, hugging your knees into your chest, maybe rocking a bit if that feels good. Wonderful. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, just let everything flop open into Shavasana. Really letting your body, your limbs be heavy. Closing your eyes and noticing all the parts of you that are touching the floor. Breathing in deep, and as you exhale, just feel everything touching the floor, kind of melting into the floor, letting go. Just on each inhale, feel just like a gentle lightness in your body, kind of an expansion feeling. And then on the exhale, just feel like a melting, letting go, downward feeling. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing your forehead, letting your whole face just kind of relax. depending on what your day is like, if you have time, just stay here. If you're going to be staying in Shavasana, I invite you maybe to do a body scan where you just feel like there's this warm light moving to different parts of your body, and you're just feeling the warm light, say, going down your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your hand, and then just have that light move through every part of your body as you watch it and feel it. If you need to be moving on with your day, deepen your inhale and start bringing movement back into your body. Just letting your body gently move in whatever way it wants. Eventually bending your knees if you need to get moving. Rolling onto your side, resting there for a moment. Making your way up to a seated position, however feels comfy. Just gazing at the floor or closing your eyes, whatever just keeps you in that kind of relaxed headspace. And just as our closing breath, I'd like you to feel on the inhale, really strong, really powerful in your body. And on the exhale, feel really settled, feeling that strength really just settling into you, calming you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for joining.